There we go. Live. Hello.
Hello. Oh, make sure the preview is visible.
Oh, yeah, visible to you, so let me do that real quick. I have... Render preview for everyone. There we go. Hello, Baplar.
Hello, all.
And welcome, those tuning in, to the Resonite Art Team Office Hours. And to kind of, well, actually, right away, I'll just answer this question before we introduce ourselves again. Yeah, daylight savings time happened in the US, I think 2 weeks ago? Less than 2 weeks ago, around that time. Yeah, daylight savings time is, will get a lot of people confused, especially those of us on the team, because half of us work with European time and half of us work with US time, and it gets all jumbled up until it stabilizes again. But yeah.
Yep.
This is the Resonite Art Team Office Hours. And you can tune in to ask questions in chat about Resonite. I am Aegis Wolf, and over there, tinkering with a new gadget or decorative item that he's working on. That is Rushen, another one of the art team members as well. Are here to, well, as said, answer questions. If you put a question in chat and end it with a question mark, it will pop up in the chat here on our Twitch chat.
Okay, you're gonna need to try this. I haven't built in desktop support yet, but you should be able to grab inside the orb and pull out an image. Oh right, scaling. You know, maybe the asset frame thing was a...
Did you, what's it called? Grab priority?
I can set grab priority, I guess.
That might work. Let's take a look at who's all in chat. I see Baplar and Yadni Mund. Hello, and welcome to the chat. Now, there are a couple of questions I did see in previous forum post. For context, every week there is a forum post on our Resonite Discord. We have a specific section there for forum post of like questions for like every week for those who aren't able to tune in and want to ask questions, because these VODs are uploaded to YouTube. I uploaded the previous one yesterday, so you can check it out there in your own time. So I'm going to quickly turn on Share X and take a quick screen cap of the previous one.
Also, I'm not too quiet, am I?
No, you should be good. I'm looking at your levels and OBS, and you should be good.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out why my microphone is so quiet later. Or at least it specifically was not.
So, this one was a question by Kawavi. And I think I may have answered partially the question last time. And their question is mainly, when is the inventory getting a redesign? It's really important, as the current inventory is pretty hard to manage. It definitely can be difficult to manage at times when you have a lot of things, but in regards of time frames, we don't really have that much of a time frame kind of deal where there's a lot of these different inner workings of features that we want to implement, priorities that we want to do, and bug fixes, availability, bandwidth of folks. It's really hard to come up with timeframes or deadlines, and well, deadline in a way can be, yeah, it's, yeah. Oh no, it's pretty much going to be worked on when it's worked on. Fruits kind of detailed how we do development on the engineering side. In regards of UI development though, what's neat about it though, half of it's done by the engineering team, the coders. They create the building blocks that the art team use to create the different UI elements. So once, say, the building blocks and also another thing called data feeds are created for the inventory, then it'll be up to the engineer or art team to also make it work and look nice in game.
Yeah.
And as with what Battler said, your audio seems fine.
Okay, cool. You should try out
Gotcha.
the little orb. I think I fixed it.
Let's take a look.
Cool.
Did you
And now you
make
should be
it
able to grab these and throw them in there.
so it's scalable? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to take that and put this in there. Can you
There you go.
quickly deselect?
Y'all are getting a sneak. Oh yeah, y'all are getting a sneak peek at a little Christmas ornament we're making for an event thingy.
So
But
it's
so
a
that
little
you can customize it. Throw whatever pictures you want on there. You can have something funny like our profile
Christmas
picture here. They just-
ornament, and you can grab on the inside, take out a image, and say this is Rue's profile picture, and you want to put it in there. Oh, it sucks it right in.
There you go.
Perfect.
Now wait to see all the funny pictures people put on the trees. Also, I got some mango Japanese candies. I really wish I could share them with groups because they're really good.
Oh yeah, I saw the photos he showed me. They were pretty good. And to kind of reiterate Yadni, the answer to about like when things are done, we can't really say. It's hard to determine when we're gonna get to that. There's plenty of other things that the engineering team like need to do and would like to do. Pretty much nearing the end of the year and start of the year, kind of like holidays kind of area, things kind of slow down a bit so that folks can recharge and start working on things a bit. One of the biggest things that happened this year is what is called the splitting if you're brand new. And what that is making Resonite more independent as an engine, which Resonite actually runs two engines to function. One is the Fruits engine, which does all the calculations and all the stuff under the hood. But everything that you see visually is Unity's rendering engine. And the task was originally starting from a plugin of Unity, becoming its own engine, and then being able to swap the rendering engine out for another one is what we want to do. And that was a huge task by the engineering team that was done. And we haven't swapped to the next rendering engine yet, mainly because there isn't a candidate yet for it. But
There's also a lot of thought that needs to go into
yes.
it. Bruce has a big page and guidelines about it.
There's
if you're interested.
2 documents about it on our GitHub. And it goes over like what kind of features that would need to be like there for us to swap to. Because one important thing about Resonite is you can just say you got this thing here, this ornament, you save it into your inventory. Literally years later, you spawn it out, and it still looks and works fine, as if nothing happened. Just like other systems or game engines may have an update, it would change things or kind of break things as it goes. We're trying to mitigate that as much as possible. Like I can bring in a brush object that was used using the brushes in here that was done like 4 or 5 years ago, and it looks just as fine today. Actually, artwork, brush. Oh, I forgot I made that trace years ago as well.
Yeah, those are definitely things we want to work on. It's just, certain things take priorities, and there are certain things that need to be worked on before those things can even be touched. One of the good things to look at is Fruce's tech tier or tech tree, and that basically shows like what needs to be finished before we can even get to certain things. And it's kind of like a soft roadmap.
I forgot I made these things. And this one I traced it, except for the webbing on the back, I freehanded it. But yeah, actually there is one important thing. There is one thing related to the questions that I remember I was gonna bring in, and I keep on forgetting, but
Was it the tech tree?
You thought of the same thing.
Well, I was just talking about it.
Oh, yeah. I was like half looking for it, and I was like, oh yeah, that was the thing I was looking for.
We should mention where it is as well, so that others can find it.
Yes, I am. Oh, wiki.resonite.com/techtree. There's a whole page for that.
Cool. That means that if you go to the Resonite wiki, you can just search tech tree and it should just pop up.
Yes. Like, Resonite's development kind of feels like an RTS if you look at that tech tree. It's like, what do we want to put our research points into?
Oh, thank you, Decoy, for the raid.
Okay, whoever made dark mode.
Also, hello everyone that just joined.
Welcome to the stream, Decoy and company. Welcome
This
to the art team office hours.
The art team office hours.
You will all bear witness to.
Decoy, send me a funny bird picture in game.
Bird picture in game.
Funny stare icon.
Do it. Do it.
Yes, send me the funny bird stare icon.
You will not be disappointed. While we wait for that, to answer the questions within chat too, this is roughly what our development looks like. There's a lot of things going on here. A lot of different moving parts and different profile pictures of the different engineering, art team, and other team members as well within. Actually, yeah. For example, right here is all the stuff with the performance update and the splitting. Anything in green right here is completed. And here's like all the stuff in regards to the UI rework. Currently, the settings rework was done. And as you can see, for example, all the different things that different updates would lead to. For example, the collections right here has all these different parts that are related to it. But yeah, it is a lot of stuff on here. We got us on the art team here with all the different things we've been working on, the business side of things, and yeah, it's pretty neat. Courtesy the Probable Prime to create this tech tree. May not entirely be up to date depending on what's on it, so yeah. He definitely tries to keep it up to date as much as he can.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a couple of questions. 2 questions.
Those are basically the same ones.
Yeah, I'll just put them side by side or on top of each other. So, Phoenix Bird Creature and Modify ARG basically ask the same question, though technically also 2 different questions. What project is the art team currently focused on? So one thing that I've been working on was a business client project on the side, as well as one of the other things I was working on I can bring in. And
It should also be mentioned that we don't generally focus on either just one thing at a time. It's usually several at the same time.
yeah, in parallel.
So we got like personal projects, business projects, community projects, like some of the stuff we're getting ready for is like some kind of Christmas event, which you'll hear about soon. Spoiler. But yeah, a whole bunch of things.
Wonder if you can recognize this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, within one of the projects that we're doing, it deals with the scale of objects in the universe. Let's just say that. And going on to NASA's website, there are a lot of interesting models on there that you can use that are public domain. For example, this model of the Hubble telescope. I also found the James Webb telescope, but that still has some more work that I need to do on it.
I was gonna say we should get that one because I like
Yep.
the way that one looks.
Yeah, I did get that,
Cool.
and I'm definitely gonna make those golden plates shiny.
And we already have the rover, so we can put the rover in there.
Yes.
The Apollo rover.
Cyro showed me techniques on to potentially make working wheels
Hmm.
with character controllers attached to a character controller. Still early phases, but I think with the vehicle system that we have right now, I think we should just stick with it. We can just always update it later. But like, it's something that I've...
Something tells me that character simulated friction will be a little heavy on people's CPUs.
Not really, because I'm not going to use the friction. All I'm going to care about is actually just the collision and to basically do the suspension like that.
Oh, okay.
Because there's another vehicle I've been working on lately. I actually was working on it just before the stream, and it's a hover bike. I've done some streams on it before, or showcase it on stream before. The latest thing I've worked on it was kind of like if you're on a bike and you tilt, the bike also tilts as well too, and this hover bike also tilts around with it. If people ever played the old PlayStation games called Jet Moto, it pretty much looks a lot like it and works a lot like it, but with a little bit of mechanics from Wipeout.
Got some more questions here.
Yeah, some really important ones. In regards of working on, did you get the picture yet from Decoy or no? No.
I think they logged off.
For those tuning in, Rue also is working on a little Christmas ornament that you can put any image on there, like his funny profile picture there. Actually, am I able to? Oh, I need to get mine. No, so
another little image.
Actually, yeah, let's demonstrate it. So I can just grab into this, and it'll pop out the image, and I'll just slot in the new one. Now there's that one, and I can just duplicate it. It's a wonderful addition, I think, to the essentials. I think another thing people could use this for is like little lanterns, and then you can put it on like a rope that you draw using the brushes, like between like 2 poles or on the ceiling or something, and then just add like a little light on it, or just make the material emissive in their own time. So yeah, in regards of working on other projects other than like the internal projects that we're wanting to do that is like sciencey related, just mainly business client work as well. We do like try to do a balance of both. Let's see here. What's next? Roxas300 asks, how is everyone doing today? I'm doing fine. We had a big, massive storm within the Midwest here yesterday, or last night rather.
It even rained here for 2 days.
Yeah. It started raining over here and then it switched to snow later on in the night. And it was snowing sideways pretty much. Other than that, probably gonna start doing prep cooking after this, a bit after the stream for Thanksgiving.
I plan on making a pumpkin soup.
Ooh, I've never had that before.
I'm using a 16th century because I saw it on YouTube. It was funny.
16th century recipe. Interesting. I always like pumpkin seeds. I just eat them like whole. They're pretty good. Other than that, probably working on that bike and playing the latest Voices of the Void update. Now, our next question here. Modify ARG asks, will the art team be in charge of the PBS consolidation, or is that an engineering thing to do? If we had the knowledge of shader stuff, I would definitely want to try to help, but that is a dark art. Even though...
I mean, we help in a little bit.
Yeah.
By like testing those changes and seeing like, oh hey, this matches this, maybe this doesn't look right.
A/B testing.
Can, like, give feedback on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a lot of it's going to be coding, specifically shader coding, which is different than just doing normal coding, from what I understand.
Cyro and Ryuvi have been
specific shader languages and stuff.
Potentially looking into that. One thing they're looking at is utilizing Shader Forge in Unity to recreate the shaders we got right now, and then hopefully consolidate them. Because there's not only the PBS material we gotta worry about, there's also the Zexitune, which is a completely different type of shader. There's also the unlit materials that would be good to consolidate together, and then the filter materials, which I don't know if they're like the same as unlit materials or their own, but Ryui has been looking into, for example, learning how to recreate the blur material and a refract materials in Shader Forge.
It's also not something that would be quick, because I hear that compiling the actual shaders themselves, once they're like done coding them and to test them, can take like weeks to a month of like straight just compiling.
That's if you have a lot. It might be less if it's a single shader, but it's a larger shader. It's basically consolidating them. Like all those PBS materials within there, imagine having just one material that has everything. And one thing that'll technically bring new features to Resonite, for example, if you're trying to use a PBS material that doesn't have a detail normal or detail albedo map, you'll be able to have that at that point, because it's pretty much just adding all those features into one. And honestly, I'm looking forward to things like that too. And it'll make the effort for porting content from here onto a new rendering engine much easier, because you're just dealing with one shader for like the PBS stuff. Like PBS Specular and Metallic will probably be even combined to one, if I recall, from like a hypothetical. But yeah, that in and of its own is a interesting like black magic to me, like with shaders, compared to like it's different than setting up like the shader nodes in Blender, even though it's node based within the program that they're using to learn. Actually, you know what? Now just like second guessing myself. I want to make sure if is that the actual like name of the program that Shader Forge. Okay, good. It was the right program. Another thing technically to mention in regards to what we're kind of doing next too is I'm going through looking at different, what's it called? The kind of programs where you can make flowcharts, stuff like that. As we're going to look into how to design out the new beginner's experience over time throughout the next year, and having a laid out like flow with like multiple branches depending on what users want to learn. It's definitely good for us to look at those kinds of stuff.
Oh, thank you for the subs.
We have 4 subs from Roxas 300. Thank you. A 4-round burst.
You know what I do for desktop mode on these things? I think I'll just add an asset, a material relay, so that people can just shoot it with a material gun.
You know, now thinking about it, that actually might... That'll be more performant, I think, too, because with the frame you got some extra stuff on it.
The frame is a lot easier to use, though. Well, for VR users.
Yeah, and you don't need a tool to use it too.
Yeah, that's why I did the asset frame. The other thing I could do is make it delete the picture that's actually in the frame, like a couple seconds after they put it in. That way, you can just keep putting things into it without having to take them out. I think it might actually be better off.
Actually, wait, taking it out... Oh yeah, it doesn't break it, so you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Because all it does is set the thing, and then I can just delete the item that's in there, and then there you go.
Another thing in regards to the beginner's experience. It ate it. Rue.
What? Did it eat one of the orbs?
It ate the other orb. Maybe you might have to do the material thing after all.
That's kind of funny. I don't know why it would eat the orb.
Now they're those nesting dolls. Wait, does that mean... Okay, it just stole it. It's just eating a...
It's created an eldritch entity. Careful, because I haven't saved those yet.
No! Stop! Okay, nothing is in here. Oh wait, there is something in there. Hold on, let me just move far away from the other one.
Orb, apparently.
Okay.
I don't know what else it can suck up. I'm kind of worried about that. Like,
save it as is. It won't suck up a person, trust me. Okay, it's not... It won't scoop up an inspector. Good. Will it scoop up the telescope? I am curious.
Oh! You just stole my orb from all the way over here.
Where did it go? Oh. It's this small. I don't know if you can see it, but it's literally that small.
We'll work out those kinks later, I guess.
Okay.
I think I just need to like limit what the asset frame can actually suck up, because I think it's recursively sucking each other up and just like smaller. So like, because there's 2 orbs there, and they both have asset frames, and I think they're fighting each other.
Okay.
It's gone now.
No, I found it. Okay.
Yeah, live testing.
There's nothing in it. And the other one is nowhere to be seen. I'm just gonna leave that over there. Actually, you know what? Okay, it doesn't scoop up any model. It's just scooping up other things with the item frame or image. Actually, I'd probably do the same thing with materials. That's
Okay,
cursed.
it'll be a lot more functional whenever we actually get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of projects on the back burner, things going. We are trying to take it somewhat easy for November and December, just because the holidays. We've been going pretty hard for like the last 2 years. It's kind of crazy if I can say. So.
Yeah. We do have another question from Modify ARG, and it relates to material stacking. What is the preferred way to do material stacking? Now, I know some people usually would use material stacking by adding a extra slot onto the materials in the mesh render, but
while it's not the most recommended thing in the world to do, if you are going to do it for a specific book, you should do it with another renderer. So have the separate material be on a new mesh render. You can have multiple renderers on the same object.
Mm-hmm.
That'll give you control over the layering, which material is on top, and whether or not you want to turn one off more than the other. Because like you can just say, take the glass material and turn it off, but leave like a metal one on. There's a bunch of things you can do with it that allow you to do some fun stuff. But yeah, if you need to do that, then just do it with multiple renderers.
Mm-hmm. And using like glass materials and like unlit materials, it's best to have them either on a separate renderer and turn off the shadows, especially on glass ones, if you don't want like a dithered shadow. For example, the material that's Rue just spawned out in regards to the crystal. But yeah. Oh yeah, in regards to Rox's question about what I was trying to say earlier. Oh yeah, that is another good example of material stacking. That is using a refract material and an alpha material.
Yep. So in
like
this specific
PBS.
one, we just added them to it, but you can also do this by just doing multiple renderers.
Oh,
they will act a little different. But...
Yep. So yeah, this is pretty much within Blender. They created multiple meshes, or in here you can just bake them together using the glue tool, and it'll all be under one mesh render. But essentially, you're just rendering the same mesh anyways multiple times. So if you have multiple mesh render components, it's not as bad. I mean, if you want it under the same mesh renderer, you just put the two objects under two different empty objects, make sure they got the same parent, bake them together using the glue tool, and then you got yourself a single mesh render. And for example, Ruse Crystal would probably be better off having the shadows on, but say if you have a building with like glass and like all the walls and ceilings and that, it's probably best to separate the glass from the rest of the buildings.
This one specifically glowed, so wouldn't have shadows to begin with.
Yeah, so you would just basically, in your case, next time you save it, just oh, I missed. Turn off shadows there.
In case you guys didn't know, toggling that whenever you have a light source is very helpful, because that will make it so that if you have a light inside of an object and you want that thing to be, say, a lamp, you don't want the lamp to cast its own shadow. So you can just toggle off the shadow on it itself, and then it'll look correct. I've seen this on some lamps that people have made for some maps where they have like a paper lantern and they had to have like the light on the outside of it. You don't need to do that because you can just turn off the shadow for the parts of the lamp that are blocking the light. I will be right back.
Alrighty. So, let's answer the question here that I was, what I was saying earlier is, in In regards to the beginner's experience, we're going to be making two different ones. One generic one that'll be for our business clients or educational clients, where it's more like focused on informative kind of like flow, and another one that is going to be more narrative focused. It'll have like think of like when you first play Portal, when you learn all the different game mechanics and it guides the user through, kind of like that. And having the user be able to choose like which kind of things they want to learn as well is going to be important for these experiences. Not everyone wants to like build in here. They don't have to build in here. That's one misconception about Resonite itself. It's not just a building platform. You can hang out, you can just see what people are building. It's like walking into someone's garage. You see all those different tools and they're working on their motorcycle or car. You don't know a damn thing about, mechanics or that, but you don't have to. You're just hanging out with your friend who's working on it right now, and you don't need to learn the tools. You can just socialize, and when you're done, within the same house, you can go to another room and do something else. Play games, socialize, or learn, or watch videos, or share memes, because you can just import images and videos into here. So, as to quote Fruix, Resonite can be a shitpost engine. Because there's a lot of memes and a lot of jokes that can happen. And a lot of chaos, just like earlier we saw in the stream. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Yori, to answer that question, yes, it was the newcomer's experience. It's basically when you first load into Resonite, the different, well, other than setting up an account or going in as an unregistered account, depending on what you do, the first thing you do when you load in is the beginner's experience, and probably would include the account, like registration, whatnot, seeing if there's ways we can improve that as well. But a lot of the stuff on the art team is mainly creating the worlds, teaching users how Resonite works, how they can navigate it, where they can use the tools if they want to, or they can just go explore and find friends and play games. From things to different locomotion modes to interactions like climbing or grabbing equipping items or anchors, stuff like that. Because, like, there's a lot of interactions you can make using items directly in here. And this can just snap onto my back, or at least, there we go. And you can even make interactions on avatars as well too. As well as creating an avatar tutorial is definitely on my to-do list. And making those flowcharts is going to be important. We did kind of work on one for the avatar a while ago. Just need to get back to it and pick up where we left off. We do have a follow-up question in regards to materials from Modify ARG.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Is it more performant to store materials assets in the object's hierarchy instead of them being loaded into the root asset slot?
So, about that, if you put a material on an object, say like with my little orbs, right? Every time that object is duplicated, the material that's in there gets a unique ID, and it gets like uninstanced pretty much. So now instead of there being one shared material, there are two separate materials that are using the same image.
They may still use the same textures, but the materials are two individual ones.
Yeah. generally you want to avoid having a material on an object so that it is shared across all those objects in the world. Now, if you're doing something where the material is animated or changing, or you want it to be unique, um, in the same case as these orbs, then you want to have that one material that is changing on the orb itself. That way, whenever you duplicate it, the object itself will keep its changes and not be affected by another object's changes. So yeah.
I can demonstrate it real quick too by getting a material tool. And these
are just material orbs.
Yeah,
that way
material orbs. So,
and then we'll get
let me just bring this closer.
Ego box.
I'm gonna change the color of this, and you'll see it change on that orb right there. So I changed it to red. That's also red. So if I save this into my inventory, spawn it out again, change the color, it'll be its own new instance of the material. Now, the asset handler in the asset slot helps with optimizing your experience in here. So it's best to let Resonite basically do the work for you for dealing with assets. Mainly it does it so that due to the dynamic nature of Resonite spawning things out and modifying things, it tries to do what it can to basically make it as seamless and as flexible as possible without taking too much of your performance. But it's best to keep in mind.
We'll do a test of it over here as well. You want to see? We got this here. I switch that to red, and then actually I'll make this green just so it's different. Okay, so since these are using material that's in the assets folder and it's basically shared between all of them, if you duplicate this object, as I've done here, you change the material, it shares it. Over here, the material's on the object itself. So if I change this one, only one of them changes. So sometimes it's something you want, sometimes it's not. I generally recommend that if your object is not animated, do this method and have them all share the same one, and just leave it in the assets.
Animated materials, customizable materials, it has to be separate. But unless, that saves you on download and memory and draw calls. For example, the hover bike that I'm working on, the base material of it is customizable, so each bike will have to have a unique material per bike. Oh, here's a good question. Roxas 300. Maybe as a general question, and those are welcome here, for about the platform itself. What does everyone here think is the greatest strength of Resonite? The fact that we can collaborate in real time.
And do stuff in real time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like being able to work on a map with like 3 or 4 people all doing different stuff at the same time speeds up work far faster than anything you can imagine. I mean, in some cases, we're building maps that would take a studio several months in like a few days or a week. And that's so fast.
As, for example, if you're making a world, for example, in Unity, for comparison, in a standard engine, you have to have a setup where you take the changes. Traditionally, you'd send them off to the next person to do their changes, and then you get the changes back. And sometimes you have to, I guess, think of it like a highway where you have to zipper merge all these different changes together. And here, you can do that, but you're also on the same road instead of all these different side roads connected to the main one. With that menu that he popped out, I can interact with it and change the color.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being in the same room or working on the same house. Like if you're physically building a house, you got people working on the uh, the foundation, the lighting, the electricity, the air conditioning, the walls, all these different things. They can all go to the same location and just build it.
Also, something that isn't used as much as I think it should be is Resonite has the ability to transfer files, both like actual images and assets and stuff, and raw files. So, one of the things that was added way back when me and Aegis were still doing like a bunch of, I think, meta movie work at the time, we needed to transfer files back and forth to each other, and using something like Google was just too slow. It had like limits. Dropbox wasn't a good option at the time either. But we ended up implementing, like we asked Roos, and we got something that like a new feature for Resonite at the time, which was like file transfer. So now you can just drag and drop whatever you want into Resonite, literally anything. It doesn't even have to be a file type we support, and it will come in as either a raw file or as the file itself, and then you can just give it to someone. You can just export it from here onto your computer. And we use that to transfer large video files, zip folders of assets, textures. You can like zip up animation type stuff, send them over for Blender things, Blender files. Um, and being able to do all of that and work on the stuff that you're working on in the world at the same time is great. Because then we don't need to use 3 different programs to transfer files. We don't need to exit the one that we're currently working in order to get assets. You know, we can just do everything pretty much in here.
I just dragged and dropped like 2 files in here. For example, this is a video file of last week's office hours in raw file format. And this is the entire zip folder of Voices of the Void, which is a free game.
The entire game.
Yep.
That's a whole game in that file right there.
Yep.
And being able to do file transfer, work on stuff, and iterate things all in real time is just like that's what makes this so strong as a building tool, and why like me and Aegis love this place so much. Why we work so hard.
And I noticed they also mentioned it would be nice to work on, as example, an avatar. You can call someone to look at it other than needing to get directions or send things back and forth. Like, think about it as going to the barber shop. That you can see the changes live as you're going. You can literally have a virtual barber that is like, specified with, setting up the hair materials or making sure it's looking good, or say a clothing stylist or someone who helps with like the different bones and all that, and like dynamic bones or materials, whatnot. You can have multiple people work on the same avatar even. And eventually, being able to use Resonite to create things as like a program similar to like, Blender or like a game engine, and you can take the stuff from here and use it for anything else. Say you want to take the stuff you make in here to make a mod for a game. Say you create a character in here and you want to use it for a animation in a different animation software. You just model it and rig it in here. That's like some of the ultimate goals in here is not just be a platform, but be a tool for anyone to use. Kind of like Blender a bit too.
I've seen people doing like mocap animation, like movie stuff in here, where this is the renderer, this is the mocap studio, like having all of that in a single workplace just makes being able to work on stuff much faster. So you don't need to fiddle around with different programs or open things or have things closed when you're not using. Like it's just fast.
being able to make things interactive in here is also a big strength as well, or things that interact with other things. For example, the markings on my face is being interacting with the music within this world. And like I was equipping earlier, the shield that is on my back and slash sword, that is all like programmed in here. This is a question from... Wait. Okay, yeah, we did that one. Yep. Another one from Modify ARG. My local world is still using the old visuals and music. How should I go about replacing it with the updated version? Also, is the local world published as a regular world? Let's start with, is it published? If I recall, it is. Let me just double check. This might become a GitHub issue as a task for when we get the chance. And the previous network. Okay, the local 2.0 is there. Oh wait, that's my own version of it, or local copy of it, that's why. I am not sure if it's published, so we'll have to see. There is a Resonite local home. If it's not the right version, please make a GitHub issue. And
well, if they need to clear it, it's actually just like as easy as clearing the cache, apparently.
Yes, for their own version, but I meant the one that's published on the Worlds browser.
Okay.
Yeah, if that one's not the latest one, it'll be good to make a GitHub issue for it so that we can look at it when we can. GitHub usually is best place to like post about bug reports or feature requests in general.
Please note that if you need to refresh your local home or like get a basically fresh new version, clearing your cache will reset it. But this also means that if you have anything saved in your local home, those items will be deleted and gone. So if you are looking to do this, make sure you have not saved anything in your local home.
One way that you could like save your stuff, if you really need to, save it as a Resonite package.
Yep, that'll let you export it, and when you export it as a Resonite package, it will just be like a regular file on your computer, and then you can drag and drop it back into Resonite, and it will pop up as if you spawned it out of your inventory. This can even be items that have like protoflux and things set up on them. It's literally just as if it was from your inventory.
Yes, and I am not sure if it works with worlds though. That's the only thing, because that's a whole different thing is world saving and all that. But it works for like.
If you save the assets in the world as a,
but I'm just saying in general, like world orbs and worlds, it'll save the world orb, but I don't think it'll save the world as like a whole thing. So don't rely on that. But as Rue said, if you have a world within there and you want to transfer it over, it's best to put all the stuff in like a slot and save that slot as a Resonite package. I have quite a few questions today. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna close out some of the other things I had open in my desktop here real quick. There we go.
Hopefully people are excited for Turkey Day. I'm definitely going to be eating a lot of turkey.
I know what we're having.
Pumpkin soup.
Pumpkin soup, yeah. That sounds good. I would try it at least once. I always try to try things at least once.
We are getting pretty close to our end time, so we should probably kind of through any final questions people might have and wish people a good holidays.
Mm-hmm. I know we're having turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, dinner rolls, and green bean casserole. That'll be good.
We have one last question from Roxas 300. I'm gonna grab it
Actually,
out.
we have two of them.
Doesn't really work that well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, one more from Modify ARG. Why are the icons for users in a session an envelope? That is a good question. I think it's because it's in relation to the contacts page. And the contacts page was using that envelope.
Yeah.
Definitely could be something we can look at once the Worlds browser gets updated, and it'll be good to kind of swap that out for a different one, maybe.
You know, now that you mention it, I thought the contacts icon was supposed to be like 2-person icon.
2 or 3 people right next to each other.
Yeah, that might be something that actually just needs to be updated.
Yeah, and I think we already
While
have...
you get the next question, I'm going to check the press kit.
I am, like, curious as well. Let's see here. Roxas300 asks, what is your role in the team and how long have you been a part of it? And why did you join the project? So, I'll start while he's still looking through. My role essentially is pretty much art team lead. Going through, and a lot of the team wears a lot of hats. Let's just say that, like, our role kind of mainly is focused around something, and yeah, there is one that has 2. Was there one that had
these are
3?
both called friends. It might have just been like a mix-up in either the naming or like the icons just from text itself, because they're both called the exact same thing. So I don't know. I'll have to ask Rem about it. There's also this one, but this one's the group worlds icon, although it works pretty well. So, I don't know. We can always change like the icons and stuff later.
Yeah. Kind of.
Me and Ages are both on the art team, and
yes.
kind of just we work on a little bit of everything, to be honest.
Yeah, whether it be modeling, texturing, animating, material work, world setup, like protoflux, programming, talking with business clients. Diagnosing
Aegis definitely
bugs.
joined way before me. What was like 2018 for you, right? Or was it 17?
2018.
And then I joined next year, 2019.
Yeah. Helping Fruks out, and ever since Resonite's launch, 2023. Was it? Oh my God! Was it 2023 or 2024?
For what, Resonite's launch? I thought it was 22. Well, we've been up for 2 years. It's 5, so it'll be 23.
Okay, since 2023, our launch, we also both helped found a company as well too, Yellow Document Studios.
Yep.
And that also involved a lot of paperwork too, so that's another hat we wore.
So, it used to be a lot of paperwork.
At least
a lot of us had to get used to that kind of thing too, because for a lot of the people on the team, it's the first time running a company like this officially. And after the big, split, we wanted to make sure stuff was done correct, and that meant going through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But now we're running legit, and everything seems to be going pretty well. And I mean, hey, as a startup company, profitable from day one, that's like unheard of. So, we're in good position. Oh, And one more thing I wanted to say about the whole like when we join and stuff like that. If you're a new user and you're trying to figure out Resonite, it just takes a little bit of time to figure things out, and once you do, you'll be able to do all kinds of stuff. When I first came in and I first met Aegis, they were trying to show me how to use the glue tool, and I glued something to the floor of the MTC building while they were making it. And now, I'm here helping build all those kinds of crazy stuff. So, if you put your mind to it and you get better at what you're doing, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
I am losing track of my controllers. Oh.
Yeah, it's been a long while since since all that was fun.
I'm gonna disconnect my controllers real quick.
Yep. Well, I think we're pretty much done. Let's see if there's anything else.
They aren't gonna drift anywhere, are they? No, good.
Oh, and for those wondering, we do just have I think the Resonite FM radio station in the background. That's what's playing. It's someone told me it was Resonite themed music or music tracks that are centered around Resonite. So, yep. That way it's not so quiet when we're streaming. I think we'll go ahead and call it here, though.
Yeah.
I think that was a pretty good stream. Hopefully you guys got your questions answered, and if you have any more, just make sure to check us out next time on Wednesday. It's when we have our streams, and come back and check us out again.
Alrighty. Well, before we go, every Wednesday around the same time we started, that's when we usually do our Resonite Our Team office hours. Now, these aren't the only office hours that we do. There's also the ones that Probable Prime does on every Tuesday on the Discord this time. And every Sunday on Twitch, there's 2 office hours that happen. One is the moderation office hours by Veer and Git, usually. And a few hours after, Fruxius does their Resonance Office Hours podcast as well on Sundays. And Cyro, one of the other engineers as well, tends to join in too. And becomes a little gremlin on there.
You can find the times and dates for these
yes.
on the events facets and the events calendar on the Discord. It'll show you what day it is, what time it is, when it's happening, and if it's even going on at the moment. And you can have this in your dash or in your world, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. You can even click on it to get any more information. This will also let you know about community events.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely give it a check out. Throw it on your dash, and see y'all later.
Yep. Have a good one, folks.
Everyone have good holidays. Take it easy. Eat a lot of food. Bye-bye.